Hey, do you have a car kit? Are you curious about how you can create a car kit to keep you safe in the event of an emergency in your car? Well, I'm going to show you our real life family car kit today. Let's go. This is a mess, but this mess is going to help us be safe in an emergency if we're in our vehicle. Every vehicle should have at least 3 different kinds of car kits. You need to have your vehicle repair car kit. That's going to include jumper cables and tire repair, things like that. You're going to want to also have a first aid kit. Now, we're not going to go into a first aid kit today, but having a good first aid kit for your car is really great and essential for preparedness. But then we're going to be building our own emergency car kit in case you're stranded or you need to leave in your vehicle and you don't have time to get home and get all of your gear. This is going to be just a very basic get out of Dodge kit, stranded kit. It's not going to have every single thing you could ever want, and it's not going to replace a go bag or an evacuation kit. This is going to be an everyday lives in your car kit to help you get through some tough times. If you're new here, hi, my name is Becky and this is Sustainable Prepping, where I am empowering you through preparedness. I'm here to reach 1 million millennials so that you can be prepared for any kind of emergency and you can do it with calm and confidence instead of fear. So in our family, we have 2 cars, the minivan and a small Hyundai that's a hybrid. We mostly ride as a family in the minivan, and so this is actually going to be our minivan car kit. Some preppers will want to have a much larger kit that they keep in a minivan in the family van. For us and for our needs, we want to have something that is not going to get in the way. And here is why. If you have a kit that's too big, physically takes up too much space in your car, you're likely to take it out. And if you take it out when you're traveling or when you're doing things, then it's not going to serve you if you have your emergency. So something small enough that you don't mind living in your car all the time, 100% of the time, is exactly what you need. This is the size we're going to use. Boom. So the first thing I want to talk about is water. It would not be a brekkie video if I wasn't talking about water and water filtration. Listen, y'all, water is life, and not having access to water or getting dirty water can make you very sick. You can only last for 3 days without water, but you can last up to 3 weeks without food. So we are going to have water everywhere. Now, I want to talk about 2 different ways you can store water. The first one is to have water filtration, and I suggest everybody get a water filter of some kind. The 2 that I am going to recommend are the Sawyer Mini, which you use with one of these little squeegee little tubes. You would just attach it to one end. You would use this little bad boy that comes in the kit to get the dirty water. You'd put it in here, it would filter out, and then you could pour this into a drinking container or even drink from this if it's only you. Sawyer is great, and I love their products. I love their compact size, and I love that they have the whole this whole process thought out. They are great for backpacking. These should be in your go bags, and they're gonna be in our car kit. So we're gonna have 1 Sawyer and a couple of these little water filter bags. We're also going to have a life straw. Now, I have a life straw in each of our glove compartments, so we have them in separate spaces, but we're also going to have a life straw. These are fantastic for a host of reasons. If you buy a life straw, you help send a life straw to a developing nation that needs clean water, so you can feel really good about your purchase. Additionally, these are super easy to use. You just use it like a straw and you get your face into the water and you drink it. You could put unfiltered water into one of these bags and know that this is contaminated and then just drink out of a straw. That is a system you could use, but these are just so simple. They're very inexpensive. I think they were like going for 15 to 20 bucks on Amazon. Everything that I mentioned, I will do my best to link it down in the description for you, but these are just really useful. So we're gonna have both a Sawyer and a life straw. That just gives us redundancy. In preparedness, one of the things you'll learn is 2 is 1 and 1 is none. And the idea being that you always wanna have backups. You always wanna have redundancies in case something fails. So in case something malfunctions with this or the other water filter, we have the backup. Right, so I've talked about water filters, and now I'm going to talk about water. You are going to want to have actual drinking water in your car, but I don't suggest putting plastic bottles in the back of your car because it's going to get hot probably, and it could freeze. And between heating and freezing, that plastic will warp, it will leach into your water, and we want to try to mitigate microplastics. Enter Mylar pouches of water. Now, this was the kind that I bought a few years ago, right here. If you follow me on Instagram, you saw that I also bought a whole bunch more. So I'm going to be updating my car kit to have all of these new pouches of water. And basically you want to try to get through at least 24 to 48 hours, 72 if you have the space, for every member in your family. Now that would be a gallon per person per day. I don't think I have that, but I can have at least 24 hours worth of drinking water. And again, we would have to ration it a little bit in our car kits. And because it's in Mylar is an aluminum derivative, you're not worrying about the microplastics leaching into your water bottles. They also, even if they freeze, because of how pliant this is, it could freeze and thaw, and it's unlikely to puncture this and therefore leak out or allow bacteria in, which we like. So I am going to be putting new water into a car kit. Okay, so I currently have 24 water pouches in here, and that is going to be enough water to get us through one-ish day if all 6 of us are in here. And again, we're gonna add in the life straw and the Sawyer filter just to expand that. Next thing after water you're gonna want is calories. Now this is the SOS Rations brick I bought way back in 2017. This expired just about a year ago, so I'm going to be replacing it with a new one. And that new one is this one right here. This is the Emergency Food Rations 3600 calorie bar in vanilla pound cake. I've heard these things taste terrible, and the point isn't to have good taste. The point is to have a chunk of calories in the event that we are in an emergency. So I'm just gonna pop that bad boy right in. So I'm gonna be also replacing these old granola bars. I replace them about once a year. For me, it's worth it to just toss these aside, but to have a handful of these in here means we've got some quick calories. This is gonna be high fat calories if we are stuck for a really long time and we don't have to worry about it. So I'm gonna go add a few quick calorie snacks to the car kit. Now I like things like these dry granola bars because they don't have a lot of things that can go rancid. Some people would argue to put things like tuna fish or something in there, but they could go rancid in the heat of the car. I live in the Southeast, so we don't want to see any of our food going rancid and not being edible. So I've got granola bars. I will replace everything once we have, these are the old ones. Clearly I had some got eaten, so it's a good thing to do an annual refresh. Maybe I will open this and see what's actually in here. Comment down below and let me know if I should like open this on Instagram and actually see what one of these SOS bars looks like and give it a little taste test, because I've had this a long while. All right, the next thing we are adding in is what we might call shelter. If you're following a prepper's plan, we've got a couple of emergency blankets and a couple of rain ponchos. I actually plan on getting more of these. There's one for every member in our family, but right now we have enough that this could be turned into a poncho if needed. So 4 of the 6 of us would have them, but I am seeing I need to buy more of these. So I'll be doing that. The emergency blankets are also great because they do reflect your heat back in, and you can string them up if you need to create a temporary shelter. Though if you're in your car, the hope would be you could use your car as shelter, but you do want to have some of these things on hand. The next thing I have are 2 prepackaged lighting and heating pieces. So this is a flashlight with batteries and matches, and a flashlight with batteries, matches, and a lighter. Now, the reason I have this stored that way is sometimes your batteries can corrode inside the flashlight. So we have them all in here in a baggie, easy to grab, a little bit waterproof, although these are probably not perfect. But I have 2 of them. I may split them up between the 2 car kits. I may keep them both in this car kit, but having at least one, and if you have the room and the money to get a headlamp, headlamps are great because then your hands are free. If you have to change a tire in the middle of the night, having a headlamp is a lot better than trying to hold a flashlight with one hand or in your mouth. So getting your flashlights, getting your fire starting stuff on hand is really important to have in your car kit. We are heading into the cool season here down south. Now, when I lived up in the mountains, these were much more imperative, but getting some of these hand warmers or body warmers that you cycle in during the cool season is really helpful. I'm gonna take these out because they've been in for over a year and go buy new ones, but these are just the little Hot Hands brand. It's a chemical that once you open them, like you pop them, they create heat. If you're stranded in the winter, if you live somewhere really cold or somewhere even like moderately cold, having these kinds of packs are absolutely essential. You may even want to have a larger car kit so you can have a bunch of these stored. It's just really, really important that if you are stuck in cold weather, you can keep the core of your body and your extremities from getting frostbite. So these are really nice to have. Okay, the next thing I'm gonna be adding to my car kit are some new cables. I got a big old 5-pack. I'm gonna be replacing the cable that's up at the front. I'm gonna be adding these in, and I'm gonna be ordering a second one of these. Now this lives in my go bag, but I love this thing so much. We were using it when we had a storm roll through, making sure that it was fully charged so we could charge our cell phones, that I'm gonna get another one that is gonna live in my car kit. So getting one of these is a solar powered rechargeable battery. It has a flashlight, so it's a 2-in-1. You can also get a slightly larger version of this that has a weather radio attached. Okay, this is what one that has the weather radio looks like. There's a solar power, there's the hand crank, there's a battery, there's the radio, there's a flashlight, and there's a place for once it's charged, it can charge your cell phone. Either of these are really great to have in go bags and car kits because it means you can charge your devices, but you gotta have the chargers. So I'm gonna be putting 2 of the current iPhone lightning cable chargers in like this, but iPhone is gonna be switching back over to the USB-C, I think. So I will be making sure I have one of those in the car kit as well so we can charge other devices. And that will be an important piece of making sure if we're stranded, we're good to go. Okay, the last piece I'm gonna be adding is going to be a paracord bracelet that I know my toddlers are playing with, and so I have to go find it. But I'm gonna add a paracord bracelet that also has a whistle on it. That is gonna go in here. And now we have a functioning car kit. Remember that this is not gonna contain any first aid. This is really just if you get stranded, you have what you need. The majority of this car kit is taken up with water because again, that is the most essential thing. And you could separate the water into a water kit and everything else. But now, it's a little heavy, but we have a solid working car kit that is gonna help us if we get stranded. I keep sunscreen and bug spray in the middle console of my van all the time, so I don't keep them in my car kit. But if you don't do that yourself, you may wanna add those in or put it in your first aid. So our car kit will live in the van, nice and safe and sound. Y'all, if you are interested in continuing your preparedness journey in a place of calm and confidence, I'm gonna make sure there is a video for you right here so you can learn more. And until the next video, happy prepping.